girl.
Come on, horse. Let's get out of camp, please. So I can go a speed outside of molasses. I got a good feeling that Kay's gonna win today, alright? I feel it. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my bones. I got a real good feeling.
How did anyone not kill you already?
Nothing I like better.
Do your job.
Wanted?
You fucking coward. Get in there. This mistake.
Dude, you know what'd be great? Oh no. First of all, I almost died right there. Dude, if I could kill this one guy right here, thank you. I killed the wrong people? Well, yeah, that sounds like something I'd do. Horse, get up. We ain't got time for this. The laws are coming.
Yep.
Okay, I almost died right there, okay? That was almost another death. But somehow I pulled it together for you, okay? Just want you to remember how badly I tried to stay alive for you.
Yeah.
All right. God, of course they're going literally where I want to go. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's over. Uh-huh. We're just going hunting. It should be fine. Horse!
Okay, girl. Get up.
We're just going to go hunting with Hamish. It should be fine. You know, in fact, what we could do here... I'm not in combat. Hello, other horse. Bye, other horse. I mean, am I literally still in combat? Like they're way over there.
Let's get.
Okay, see, I want to read my journal a little bit. Okay. Hey, Basement, did you read this stuff? I mean, look at it. I feel like we should read this journal a little bit. I mean, this literally goes all the way back to the beginning of the game. Chapter. Gang savings, huh? It's just a picture of Blackwater. I bought this new journal after the last one got destroyed in that fire all those months ago, whenever it was. Haven't written or drawn much in the past few months, but I was missing it more than I thought I would. And finally near a store, so here I am, I guess. After all that business up north in the fire, we spent a few months in the wilderness traveling down from northern grizzlies. Stuck mostly in the western foothills of the mountains during the worst of the winter. Food was easy to find and life was good. Dutch had a lead for some land which we were going to buy, but the land did not match up to his criteria, or he got spooked and we were being watched by the law, or that somebody knew who he was. And he never bought it, and we were wandering still. Picked up a couple of new folk in the Grizzlies. Jenny, a sweet young girl we met abandoned on the roadside, and Micah, an outlaw Dutch met in a bar someplace. Dutch seems very taken with Micah, who is pretty hot-headed, argumentative, and full of himself. Hosea and I are less sure. Guess we shall see. Eventually, we came out of the wilderness and are now holed up outside of Blackwater, although sometimes I stay in town hunting for opportunities. It might be onto something. We got plenty of money, and the trail we took was so torturous and slow, nobody could have followed us up south and east or figured out where we was heading. We was thinking about California, but then Dutch and Hosea brought us down to Blackwater. Blackwater has apparently grown a whole lot since any of them was last here. I was told to expect little more than a trading post, but this place is growing fast. It's almost a small city. The town seems to be riddled with corruption, but there's certainly plenty of money here. It's good to be sleeping in a bed from time to time and living a more civilized life after so long under canvas, but I do not particularly like being this near to a town. We are living here, camping outside town mostly, hidden in plain sight, I guess. Life seems pretty easy. Abigail and Marston keep arguing. I wonder why exactly he came back. He cannot seem to decide if he wants to be a father to that boy of his or not. The arguing is exhausting. I heard talk of a man sounded like Trelawney, but we haven't seen him for many months. Hosea and I are onto something pretty big. Might be a lot of cash coming in to do with a real estate scam Hosea thinks he may have discovered. I am not sure yet. The perfect crime, we think, one where we rob crooks. We are being real careful. It's fun working with Hosea again. The man is an artist of nonsense. Even if nothing comes of it, we are having an amusing enough time. It's good to be running scams again. Hosea is a born huckster. He's getting anxious, worried that by lingering in town we are going to bring undue attention to ourselves. But Dutch thinks that he is onto something big. His words, not mine. Bank money being brought in by boat, apparently. So for now, we are working on both things and seeing what happens. Plan is to flee west in the desert country, if someplace if we can. Micah and Dutch are planning to rob the ferry in town. They think it's laden with riches, cash coming in for the banks, coming in by boat. For once, I am not getting involved in the job. Hosea and I are too taken up with our business, which I believe could go very well, and Dutch seems confident that with the group assembled, all will be okay. Plan is for them to carry out the job, then flee into the wilderness out to the west. The next day, Hosea and I will carry out our scam and join them. Dutch seems happy and excited. He's talking again about California, but he's also talking about a lot of other places. Yeah, Micah is definitely the mole because Blackwater was his idea. Like, everything that was his idea, the cops showed up at, you know? We have been running for weeks. I mean, running more than usual. The day they was pulling in Blackwater, robbing that ferry, it turned into a disaster. Young Jenny got killed, poor thing, while Sean and Mac both got arrested or killed. Nobody seems sure which. Dutch shot a girl, and I'm not too sure if by accident or by design, and it seems like it might have been a setup. We took the hills in an almighty scramble, leaving money and most of our things behind. Then, as we were fleeing east over the Grizzlies and an almighty storm hit us, Davy Callender, who got shot in the gut on the raid, passed away. It was brutal to watch, and the rest of us nearly froze. We found shelter and have been resting here in some old abandoned mining town while we wait out the thaw. Davy. Okay, so this is where the game started. Camp Coulter. This is the very first place we were. Hardly the spring I had been hoping for. Hosea and I have been planning a robbery of our own in Blackwater, but I guess that's been abandoned along with most of what I owned. I am profoundly concerned as to what happens next. Once we leave this place, the law finds us cowering up here. Found a girl, well, a woman, I should say. Her husband had been murdered by some of Como Driscoll's boys. Nasty business. Riding out. Leviticus Cornwall. Seems Como Driscoll had the same idea as us. He's been hiding up here, scouting out a train he wanted us to rob. We bumped into some of his boys at some farmstead they was robbing, found that poor woman whose husband they had murdered, and she's now riding with us, and she ain't got no place better to be. Then, Dutch being Dutch and his hatred for Colm just beat as powerful as ever was. A whole bunch of us went to pay him a visit at his camp, but he escaped. Yeah, this is one of the first missions we did here. Alright, hold on. Can I set up camp now? I want to set up camp and read this by the fire so we could actually see it now that it's getting dark. What's my horse doing? Okay. That was interesting, horse. Chapter. Okay. We were right. Picture of the train. Here we go. All right. We grabbed one of his boys. Poor bastard ain't spoken yet, but he will once we freeze him a little. Then set Bill on him. Been a bad few weeks, but we're mostly still alive. Dutch being Dutch is busy making plans and figured out just how we're going to survive, and Dutch being Dutch, those plans involve robbery and dreams. Now we're at Horseshoe Overlook. This is out of the tutorial. Finally, a thaw in this god-awful weather. We got off the mountain and rode east into some pretty enough country called the Heartlands. Ain't been this far east in many a year. Hosea thinks to know the country a little. Ain't been much of a spring. Now holed up at a place called Horseshoe Overlook, outside of some dumpy little cattle town named of Valentine. Dutch seems a little better. His eyes are sparkling once more, and I can see he's thinking a little clearer. I think we all feel a little happier in spite of Blackwater and that whole mess. Yarrow. It's on the other page. Met some old drunk in Valentine. Claimed he was a shootist. Seemed more like a clown. Some poor fool. Horse, why are you so close to me right now? Some poor old fool was writing a book about him, or trying to. Levin was the name of the writer, Levin. Jim Calloway was the killer. Apparently, Levin needs more information. Asked me to find a few folk who have spent more time in publicly than me and knew old Jim back when he was a real killer. Their names are Emmett Granger, Fiaco Hernandez, Billy Midnight, and Black Bell. I forgot I got this quest. Okay, I can't. There we go. Can we, like, hot the fire so we can see the pictures? Like, if I zoom. It's too bright. It's too bright now. Guy's passed out. Sounds like a trope of clowns. We shall see what kinds of people those who want us to be famous murderers is. My hopes are not too high. Met an idiot hunting for treasure. Bought a map off him. Wonder if it'll find anything. Horseshoe Overlook, Huntingbird Sage. Like, the stuff you discover, it puts that in the journal, which is cool. Took a day off and went hunting with Hosea. He seems to be really getting his strength back a bunch, although he was lucky to not die, as this big bear he'd been after turned on us. I thought when we snuck up in the mountains that the cold misery would kill him and we'd bury him like we buried Ginny and Davy, but he pulled through and he'll live a while yet. I love Dutch like a father, but in many ways I love Hosea even more. He's kind and fair and like a human being. Dutch is something else. The bear was also something else, sort of a goddamn hotel. It was old. It was and mean with it. There's the bear. Carrot. You guys like carrot? Got into some god-awful fight in the town saloon. Bill started it. He's wound so tight about something I reckon he'll start hitting himself soon enough. I was stopped from beating some big yokel to death by a local do-gooder. I could not tell if this made me pleased or real angry. Local crowd seemed to want to see blood, however. Afterwards, Dutch accosted me with old Josiah Trelawney, back quite as slippery and confusing as ever. He'll come and go again, no doubt, and leave none of us any the wiser or who or what he is. Trelawney told us that Sean had not been killed in Blackwater, but was a prisoner there, held by scalp hunters awaiting payment. Charles Smith, Javier, and I met in Blackwater and rescued that loudmouth maniac before we even cut him free from the tree. He was mouthing off at us. Javier in Blackwater is an impossible situation. Or Javier said Blackwater's a possible situation. I guess I'd better forget about all that money. All them years wasted earning that stuff. I guess I'll never quite know what happened, but the upshot is we're on the run and known to more folks in authority than I would like. Colm O'Driscoll slipped through our fingers once more, and I saw my own life slip through mine. That gentle buffoon we kidnapped up in the mountains took us to a cabin. We were planning to kill Colm, but he had just gone elsewhere. We shot a bunch of his boys. One was about to end my life when Kieran shot him. This feud, it's bled out from Dutch and Colm's mutual hatred into a loathing that permeates all of us and all of them. Still, I found quite a shotgun in that cabin. That's where we met Tim. Chad, what a beautiful day. Headed into Valentine with Uncle and the girls. Girls went scouting out work while Uncle and I had a few drinks, and he explained more of his theories on existence and barefaced lies about his past. Things took a strange turn. Some fellas seemed to recognize me or us from Blackwater. Guess we had been holed up there for too long while Jose and I started the job that never was. I chased the bastard. And then I killed him anyway. Sometimes there's no point in taking a chance. That was the one time I made an accidental mistake, chat. I accidentally killed that guy because I pressed the wrong button. Feel bad about that. Met a lady scientist, Deborah something or other. Seemed to be more mad than sane, but I don't have much frame of reference for scientists. Wanted me to see if I could help her find dinosaur bones and send her the details. Maybe. Air Strauss is back lending money, and I'm back collecting it. The work mostly revolts me and shames me. Somehow, robbing people honestly with a gun and fists is less repellent than robbing them fully in accordance with the law. It'll be the usual sort of desperados. Sick farmers, pregnant maids, lovesick young men, and other dupes desperate enough and stupid enough to take Strauss's terms. A usurer's life may be a comfortable one, but it is foul work. I went to call him alone, some farmer, local do-gooder. I think I'd seen him in Valentine before when I was fighting that big fella. He begged and coughed and sputtered as I beat him half to death. Such is life, such is the world. His boy looked at me like I was the devil, and perhaps for him, I was. The whole thing confused me. Maybe that's what's wrong. The whole thing revolted me and my part. These sad, desperate bastards, their silly expectations of life and their tawdry reality, the unkindliness of existence. I can handle that just fine, but I do not love it, nor those who try to make things otherwise, I guess. That's the guy that got us sick. At least, that's the reigning theory. Saw Mary again. I feel like the luckiest man alive, and I feel like a fool. That woman confuses me and plays me for a fiddle like no one else alive. Her little brother Jamie had joined some religious order and needed saving, or she and the god-awful daddy seemed to have thought. I took him home after a pathetic little squabble. Poor boy. Wonder what will become of him. Education and unpleasant father have been a terrible curse for him, I fear. As for Mary, I trust I will not make a god-awful fool of myself once more, but somehow I imagine I shall. Jose and I went robbing, just like in the old days. A father and son pair of clowns or some farmhouse. Stole a wagon, sold it to some rat Hosea met while some odd place called Emerald Ranch. What goes on there I cannot tell, but this little purchaser of stolen goods had us go rob his own family, even by my standards. That was low, but the father and son we robbed was proof that even God makes mistakes sometime. Hosea performed brilliantly as some kind of huckster selling restorative care to crooks' backs. Whole thing was utterly ridiculous and brilliant. Valentine. Arthur is quite the artist. Went off drinking with young Lenny thanks to my own peculiar genius and trouble when drunk. The evening did not go quite according to plan, but somehow neither of us got killed or arrested for murder, despite my best efforts in that regard. Somehow I do not imagine that the saloon owner and Valentine likes me very much after the mayhem I have caused there. Pictures of the saloon. Horse, a chicken, a pheasant, a deer, a dog, a pig. Like, he, writes them in his journal as he discovers them. That is so cool, honestly. It's Abigail and Jack. Took young Jack out fishing as a favor to Abigail many years ago before she fell so hard for that fool Marston. Perhaps I should have married her. I think part of me has always thought that, yet, goddamn you, Mary. Jack is a good boy, a dreamer, a boy with a mama who loves him. I wonder if he will find what we seek, peace and truth away from all this nonsense and lies. Is that what we still seek? Not that that's a new development. Not sure I know myself anymore. Sometimes I'm not sure Dutch does. As we finished, a couple of Pinkerton agents appeared. Milton was one of them. I dropped my controller. I forget the other fellow's name. They knew all about me. That's a new turn of events. Apparently there's a 5,000 on my head alone. After Blackwater, or maybe before. Seems we may be in real trouble. I just don't know. Dutch don't seem too worried, but I'm beginning to have some doubts as to the wisdom in his indifference. There's Dutch's tent. Horseshoe Overlook. More problems have befallen us, more running. Leviticus Cornwall, the oil, sugar, rail, and greed merchant who we robbed a while back, had ambushed us in Valentine. CMZ has added to the price on our heads. We shot our way out of town and narrowly escaped with our lives. The only amusing aspect of this horror was Herr Strauss getting grazed and acting like he was prepared for his short trip down to hell. After this, we fled the country and headed even further south and east, camping by a lake. This is pretty much new country for me. Charles and I saved a family of Germans who were in the process of getting themselves killed. He's a better man than me. He does not need to think to be good. It comes naturally to him. Like right is deep with him as opposed to this conflict between good and evil that rages within me. If only we had fled out of Blackwater, we could be free now. Where we belong beyond civilization with the savages and the animals. Here, we won't ever be at home. Roads. So turns out, holed up outside a town called Rhodes, deep in cotton country. This place has not recovered from the war, and those folks that are sober enough to think are still angry. The drunk, which is most of them, are angrier still, but perhaps for other reasons. Out of this absurdity, we appear to be planning to deputize ourselves in local law enforcement, and have already taken down a major bounty on our behalf, but mostly to rescue slippery old Trelawney, who has got himself arrested for some of his usual nonsense. Seems like there's a long-running blood feud between two old families here, and both Dutch and Hosea believe they may be sitting on a lot of gold. We shall see, I guess. There's the saloon there. Discovered a dog that day. There's Sadie. Miss Adler, the widow we rescued a while back, may not be the craziest one of all of us. She fights like a cornered polecat, with a rage and a bloodlust that frightens the hell out of me. I ever get on her wrong side and I am a dead man. I don't intend to. She's a fine woman, amusing and good-hearted, and decent and angry. I took her shopping to stop her filleting an old Pearson right in front of camp. Then we got jumped. She went insane and showed she could still kill with the best of us. Finally, we have achieved a state of true insanity. For the first time in my life, I am a deputized lawman. We went off with some moronic dupe deputy working for the alcohol-drenched Sheriff Gray, pursuing some moonshiners. The Dutch is convinced this will somehow lead to riches beyond compare. Seems that one powerful local family, the Grays, ex-Scots, is warring with another proud English family, the Braithwaites, like some long-running dispute from the border country. Apparently, there's gold or women or something at the root of this, and if it's gold, we want it. Either way, we are so deep in the swamp and so entirely lost ourselves, I hope it'll take the Pinkertons and they're like a long while to find us. We shall see. In the meantime, a new career path in law seems to await. Seems amongst the perils of the gang called the Lemoyne Raiders won't take too kindly to outsiders or anyone who ain't living in the distant past. Stumbled into this old drunk on the streets of Rhodes. I don't know quite why he made an impression. The world is full of self-pitying drunks. Hell, I hope to grow into one myself, but something about this fella Jeremiah Compson blamed everyone else for his plight. Lost his career and his home, wanted me to go find a few Trinkfords at its home, Compton Stead, just north of Scarlet Meadows. Maybe I'll head over there sometime. He was a racist, and we killed him. Braithwaite Manor. I've met some charming women in my time. Catherine Braithwaite, the mother hen to that particular bunch of roosters, ain't one of them. Sour old jug of piss and bullcrap I ain't never met. Even Hosea's charms were lost upon her. She refused to offer or selling her back her shine, and instead got us to give away to annoy her saloon owners in town. Hosea put on quite a show, and we got interrupted by the bastards who robbed when grabbing the stuff. We just about escaped. On the other hand, I met this poor bastard gray boy, Beau, and his forbidden love, Miss Penelope, quite the most alive creature we have ever met down here. Suddenly, I am marching as a suffragette. The looks of loathing on the face of the locals delighted me, while their leader, a Miss Calhoun, amused me. Don't know much about the good causes nor the joys of democracy, but I enjoy my little experience right alongside them. The world is currently changing fast. I saw an old church, found it interesting, not certain why. We went horse thieving, our greed getting the better of us, believed a yarn spun by one of the Gray family, the patriarch Tavish, a particularly unpleasant one from what seems to be a reasonably unpleasant family. He had us believing that the Braithwaite woman owed some highly prized English thoroughbreds, Arab chargers, or whatever they thought they were supposed to be, and imagined we was going to be wonderfully rich at the end of it. We felt like prize idiots, so I guess at least some prizes were being handed out. Charles and I went looking for Trelawney, who was staying in Rhodes. He had been accosted by some bounty hunters who was looking for him and a means to get into us. Whole thing turned nasty and had been treated pretty bad, but when we got him out of there, he seemed worried. There might be more following us in his wake, so he came back to camp with us. There's always seemed to be more bounty hunters, Pinkertons, lawmen. Everywhere we go, there's more and more civilization. Perhaps this is it from now on. We shall see, I guess. The whole place is beginning to give me the creeps. Want to get back at the open country to the west, or what's left of it, but even then I ain't the way I remember it. I have been recuperating after an interesting encounter with Colm O'Driscoll. Dutch got into the mind to meet the bastard, somehow to end all this lunacy, only Colm did not share Dutch's sense of honor amongst thieves. Whole thing was a setup to kidnap me, then lure out the rest of us into a trap so he could get arrested. Colm could disappear away. I managed to, scare him away somehow, along with our own to the gallows. Seems like Colm is enjoying this modern world even less than we are. More by luck than judgment, I escaped and somehow got back here. More dead than alive, and collapsed into bed for a few feverish days after much nursing from Miss Grimshaw and Miss Tilly, and much guilt-ridden apologies from Dutch over his stupidity. I survived okay. My shoulder, where I was shot, ain't come down with gangrene, and I will live, if even uglier than before. Things are getting even more insane with the local population. My sense is neither the Grays nor the Braithwaites have a pot to piss in, but I ain't spent too much time with the landed gentry. Whatever else they is, I don't make one believe in the nobility of the aristocracy. Here's dead Sean. Sean has been... Oh, excuse me. Sean has been killed. I'm more sad than I can admit. I love that little loudmouth wretch more than I knew. He was like an annoying little brother to me. What fun we had riding together, and now he's dead. His head half shot off in an ambush. What a goddamn mess we are making of things. Still, no Confederate gold, but a load of trouble. Home for now, in Chapter 3. Now we moved again. More trouble with the Pinkertons, more trouble with them locals, more trouble all around. Little Jack's been kidnapped, so we're trying to find him. Apparently, some fella in Saint Denis, Senor something or other, took umbrage to our presence and kidnapped him, or heaven forbid worse, we burnt down Braithwaite Manor when we went hunting for him in an almighty scrap. Then we got spoken to again by Agent Milton. This time, he asked us for Dutch's head on a platter. We got him to leave, but they ain't too pleased with us. So we headed into Saint Denis to find little Jack. We was told he's been kidnapped by some local gangster, an Italian named Bronte, a local tough guy. We ain't fond of him. We ain't found him, but he's found us. Dutch and I headed into town and managed to get myself robbed by a bunch of children. That was a new low, even by my standards. Anyway, we found Bronte and are going to pay him a call. We better get the boy back soon, at least because if we don't get Abigail will kill a lot of us. All this after we burned down the Braithwaite Manor house looking for him and made some real enemies of ourselves back in that country. We are now hiding deep in the swamps, trying not to get eaten by wildlife or sunk too deep in the mud. I cannot decide which I like less, the swamps or the city. Both are full of parasites, reptiles, and slime, but the swamp's prettier. Dutch is trying to think of where we can run next, but in the meantime, we are deep in the swamps, hiding in some disease-ridden old plantation house, mostly swallowed up by nature. Guess we will find Jack, get some money, and then flee, but where? These bastards ain't giving up. We're a long way east of land we know, and far from real open country. Picture of Saint Denis. I always heard Saint Denis was one of the 7 wonders of the world. If this is so, I don't care much to see the other 6. It's a depressing place that shows you the only people worse than people is a whole lot of people. I have never met a lizard in a suit before, only now I have, and his name is Angelo Bronte. He is either our salvation or our damnation. The city strongman arrived from Italy a few years ago and knows and controls everything and everyone. He has not harmed Jack other than feeding him strange food, spaghetti. And Dutch seems to think that maybe we could get something from this oily dictator. Personally, I don't trust him more than I trust a hungry animal, not to try and eat me, but for now, we're somewhat safe and hidden. The whole place gives me the creeps. Mary wrote to me, wants to see me again. Oh, Mary, what fools we all are, and what a fool I am. Saw Mary and the awful daddy who was taken to drink, which unsurprisingly ain't improved him a whole lot. What a foul pig he is, taking to hawking off fairly air rooms and cursing the world for it. Still a stuck-up son of a bitch. Now Mr. Linton has passed away. I wonder what he wants for his daughter. Funny thing is, I love her, and yet I am a bad lot. Old daddy is a good, upright man, and yet he treats his daughter like a possession to be mistreated and abused as he sees fit. Strange creatures, men. I don't know. All I know is that I love her, and she both loves and detests me. It never worked before, and it won't ever work now, yet it gnaws at me. The idea of it gnaws at me like a sickness. I've got to give all that nonsense up. I'm an outlaw, a murderer, a man with a code different to the ordinary folk, and Mary ain't never going to be for my world. We went to a vaudeville show in town, dancing from France. Quite a business. What is wrong with me? Do I really think I could retire someplace nice and live a normal life with a wife? Am I big enough dolt to believe that is possible? Met a curious Frenchman in a bar. Bought him a drink, and he gave me a picture. Said he was an artist, although I'm not sure I see what is so good about it. Met a monk. Helped him free a couple of poor bastards from the island someplace who were kept prisoner. The monk, what was his name? Brother something or other? He was a good fellow. One of these innocent people who make you feel better about being human beings and even about yourself a little. Must be odd to see all that goodness in the world. Place always seemed dark and brutal to me. Met a weird fellow, wants 100 gallons of moonshine. For love? Never heard of such nonsense in all my life. All I know is that some talkers and nonsense. Guess I'll go ask that clerk, Alden, Trelawney's disappointed friend. Maybe he knows a way of finding it if I think there's money in this. I don't think I ever did that quest, actually. Met a pair of fellows from a chain game. Black fella named White, white fella named Black. They wanted to kill each other. They begged me to clear off some wanted posters from them. Collected the posters. Old White and Black weren't so innocent as they seemed. Went to his house. Didn't feel so bad for him now. Felt like a fool. Bastard was a slave catcher. That's related to that old veteran. Went to see nice Mr. Compson again. Last thing he'll see. I killed that guy. Met an angry man in Saint Denis, a professor, no less, Marco Dragic. I'm still amazed by what I experienced. He had me control a tiny boat remotely. How? I have no idea. I did not understand any of it. But even though he was annoying and a sharp mouth, he seemed obviously highly intelligent. Was I duped? I have no idea. Wouldn't that be the first time I had followed for a rantings of an intelligent man telling me how to think? Only he didn't tell me how to think. Whole thing was odd. Told me to come see him in his lab in Dover Hill. Maybe. I went to an art gallery. Seems fine and fancy living ain't quite so different from life in the wilderness. Robbing stagecoaches. Was an exhibition of painting by the artist I met a couple times. Charles something or other. French fella. Seems he'd been doing more than painting his models. Their husbands weren't so keen on the liberties he'd been taking with his subject matter. Whole thing descended into a brawl. How'd to help him escape? The mayor of Saint Denis Mansion. My lord, now I have done everything. I went to a ball like a fool in a fairy tale. The mayor of Saint Denis. Dutch got us invited by old Senor Bronte, and now if we trooped, trussed up like turkeys for Thanksgiving, and waxed and polished and primed within an inch of our lives. Bronte did not mingle with the other guests, but lorded over the place like a Roman emperor, deciding who to have killed for fun. The place was full of drunks, lunatics, liars, and clowns, but the thing was kind of fun. Managed not to get into too much trouble, and may have some business opportunities on account of inquiries there. We shall see, I guess. Seeing Bill dressed up like an ambassador and awkward as a schoolgirl was one of the funniest moments of my life. Met Evelyn Miller, the writer, which was amazing for Dutch. Met the mayor. Dutch and Hosea seem to think this dump is a world of possibilities. They want to look into a bank and some other business opportunities. We shall see. As long as we can keep ahead of the Pinkertons and Mr. Cornwall and the rest of them for a while, maybe we shall be okay. Met the writer Evelyn Miller in the street. He remembered me from the party. Apparently my petty crime did not go entirely unnoticed. Better keep my head down for a little better. He introduced me to a couple of Indians, father and son. Son angry, father with an air of what exactly? Something both impressive and frightening and kind about him. A great man defeated by powerful and awful forces. I do not know, but his eyes and his very manner spoke to me. Somehow I've agreed to help them. Seems they, like us, have problems with the Gilded Ape, Leviticus Cornwall, and his foul empire. We shall see how this pans out. Met a strange guy. Thought he was a prophet. Blind. Met a real pair of, well, I don't know quite what they were. Names were so ridiculous I don't even begin to try to remember if they were Greek or Latin or gibberish. Pair of twins, dead keen on insulting each other and hitting each other to impress a woman. I've done lots of stupid things to impress women, but that was ridiculous. I ended up being William Tell. I think they were college boys. Guess education ain't always the answer to mankind's problems. Nice enough boys, but odd as hell. I remember this quest. This was great. Yeah, there is a lot of we shall see. I wish I could go through life just being like, we shall see. You know, oh, this happened. That could suck. That could be great. We shall see, you know. I would love to have that type of temperament. Shady Belle saw them boys again with equally weird names. This time they asked me to give them a beating. I cannot even try to understand them. Went to see the professor at his labs. He had built some type of mechanical sun. He seemed to think it was amazing, but we could not get the thing to work properly. I was not half as impressed with him as he was with himself. Got into a fight with a drunk giant at a tiny head. Yes, that's what happened. Fellow was strangling a bar. He had turned off his liquor supply. Part of some kind of circus act. The show was run by a woman, Marjorie, I think. She's missing a tiny magician. Suppose we all are. He's run into the woods. Said if I saw him, send him back to him. Found this little magician and reunited him with his family. Fellow tried to give me the slip a few times, but in the end, seems they love each other even more than that they hate each other, or at least that was close. Want me to see their show sometime in Saint Denis and say they'll reward me because they were broke now. The professor I ran into in Saint Denis, and then his workshop was here. This was his workshop, right up here. So the top right corner of the map, he was up here. Yeah, about halfway through Saint Denis, this is about the part of the journal where I started to do a ton of side quests. And the main quest, I started to pump the brakes on the main quest and do a lot of side quests. And I'm glad I did, because there are some really cool, interesting characters. Met this fella, Algernon Wasp. Not sure how to describe him, but I won't forget him anyway. I could not do him justice. Different kind of fellow. But he said he'll pay good money for assorted feathers and eggs and whatnot for his creations of various rich women. Give me that list of things he wants. Found Charles, the artist, dressed as a streetwalker, trying to flee from assorted men he had offended, fleeing from the South Seas. Wonder if I'll see him there. Oh, here's the show. Show was interesting, to say the least, and dreadful, but I got paid. Somehow I got myself involved in the charting business of Saint Denis culture. The mayor, who knew we robbed him a while back, invited me over to his mansion again. Strange man, nice and awful, cynical and caring. Wants me to make his city thrive. Doesn't seem to care how he goes about it. Threatened me in order to make me threaten some art professor on his behalf. Why? So the art professor would verify that a bunch of paintings ain't the forgeries he believes. They are the genuine article he thinks they are. In order to fill the paper, the people with joy that they are looking at real works of genius. Not a good copy of a work of genius. Yes, I was pretty confused by the whole thing, but I did as I was bid to do, and the professor changed his mind once he saw that I would be happy to turn his mind into nothingness. That's pretty brutal. Kieran, that poor kid we spared from O'Driscoll's gang on the mountains, is dead, killed by the bastards. He saved my life, and I could not save his. They chopped his head off and tried to kill the lot of us. Mrs. Adler thought braver than any of us. She is driven by powerful forces I scarcely understand. That's what love has done to her, I guess. I feel like an animal living out in the mud here. Whole place gave me the creeps. See if those of us who thought Angelo Bronte was a lizard in a suit was right, as them as thought he was a gentleman. Thief eager to help us on our merry way was wrong. Bastard sent us into a trap in town, told us to rob a trolley station. No money, but the entire police force waiting for us. Dutch nearly died. Lenny fought real hard. The kid is good in the fight and saved us. Dutch is planning some big escape for us all, some grand master plan. Everything we are attempting here seems troubled. I hope we can get out of here alive. Right now, it don't seem likely. Dutch is raging about Bronte's deception or betrayal or whatever. Quite it was. Dutch don't like being made a fool of. Even Micah, with all his teasing and needling, plays it cool with Dutch. I would not want to be Bronte right now. I cannot see Dutch letting this pass. Went to teach Angelo Bronte a lesson. Taught him something, I guess. Taught him alligators have a nasty way about him. Dutch is torn between his dreams of escape and his need to prove something or other. I don't quite know what. Not sure he does. Wants us to make that one last big haul of cash, then flee for Tahiti. Retire and become farmers. Where the hell is Tahiti? I guess they don't have Pinkertons there, at least. All of them years we dreamed of being ranchers out in virgin lands of the West. Now it's bananas and coconuts and long boat rides. Guess anywhere the train can get to, the law can get to. Dutch probably has it right. This country really don't want folk like us no more. From ocean to ocean, place is going to law-abiding and decent and dulled and rigid until folks have frozen themselves into nothingness. People in this city are worse and more desperate than the nastiest gunslinger I ever met. They'd shoot you in the back and make you pay. For your own funeral. They throw poop at you for sport. They walk past the lost, starving, like you can't see them. Keep feeling sick, and I'm sure it's nothing. This damn swamp ain't natural. So that's the first time he started feeling his tuberculosis. Or at least that's the first time he noted it in his journal. All right, now I'm on the beach. Hosea, Lenny both dead. My lord, what a goddamn mess, everything. The bank job we planned so hard was a goddamn setup. Hosea got himself killed. Lenny got shot in the head. Martian got himself arrested as awaiting trial. We fled. Leapt on a ship, sailed to the storm, the ship sank. Whole thing was like a dream, like a fool's nightmare. I survived that, being lost at sea, and got washed ashore on an island called Guarma. Whatever Tahiti is like, I hope it ain't nothing like Guarma. Some nasty bastard by name of Fusar had the people there. People by the throat, ended up in a fight with a goddamn army. Javier nearly died. I nearly got killed. Met some real decent folk, brave folk living in the land of hell. We got a boat out of there, just about, after some real nasty fighting. Don't think I met many folk deserve killing more than that piece of crap Fusar. Upon returning, we found the folk again. At least them as ain't dead, but within a few hours, the Pinkertons have had all of us. Old Agent Milton wants us all dead, and yet somehow we survived and now planning another escape. Not sure what happens next. Whole thing has been hard on us, most of all on Dutch, who seems half crazed by all we gone through. Turns out, I'm not very well. Got tuberculosis. The doctor did not know how long I would last. All of them bullets shot at me, all of them horses threw me, and all them fights. It was like beating up that pathetic little fell Downs that killed me, I reckon. Yeah, so it's there. It's in the journal. It's in the journal. All them bullets shot at me, all them horses threw at me, and all those fights. And it was beating up that pathetic little fellow Down that killed me, I reckon. He's the only man I've been near that was real sick. He begged me for mercy, and I beat the bastard, and he died. And now I'm dying, too. The way of the world. The mind is racing, of course. That monk and that nun, Down's widow, Abigail, Mary. Dutch, when I first knew him, Hosea, my dead pa, the no-good bastard, the whole crowd of people, and what kind of man have I been? What kind of man am I? What world is this that we live in? Land of fury, a place of love? Am I being prepared for eternal damnation? I am past any kind of saving. Is that all fairy tales? Man ain't got much good in him. I ain't got no good in me. I don't think, and yet I see goodness. I see it, if not in me and good folk and Abigail and her love for Jack and that silly monk and Downs, I guess, begging not for himself but for the poor, even though he was nearly starving himself. Maybe I don't want salvation. Part of me have always longed for death. Well, here it comes, I suppose. Found a raving lunatic, completely raving, took him back to the village nearby, Butcher's Creek. Something ain't right there. Some kind of village elder, Obadiah, maybe, appeared. He spoke mostly nonsense. Weird place. Something's not right at all. We finished that quest line today. Apparently that weird sketch he gave me is worth a lot of money, and Charles is a world-famous artist. Beaver Hollow. Molly ratted us out. Dutch broke her heart. Hold on a second, guys. Dutch broke her heart, so she told the law about us. Explains how they found us so easily, I guess. Love does strange things to us all, even stranger than hate. She turned up, drunk and mouthy, and told us all this. She was pathetic. I wanted to spare her, but Miss Grimshaw put a bullet in her anyway. Guess it was right. Guess there weren't much of a choice. This is our new camp, high in some nasty country. Badlands are as bad as we could find for this far to the east. Place we were holed up used to belong to a bunch of murderers. The Murfrees or some nonsense like that. They call themselves. We shot some of them, but there's more lurking in the woods around this place. Don't think we have long here before the law or some pickets find us again. I just hope we can keep ahead of them for a while, or ahead of ourselves. There's the penitentiary where John was. Sadie Adler and I rescued Marston from prison where he was awaiting hanging. Spied on them in a balloon, event which was amazing and awful and I thought would kill me quicker than this illness. Later, Sadie and I rescued him while getting shot at. I did it for Abigail, of course, in her own way, the finest woman I know, but also for Jack and I guess Marston himself. I kind of like him. We argued over the years, but I've grown to care a little for him. He's less of a fool than I thought he was, and maybe he can have the luck that has eluded me. Jack is an innocent little boy. In him, I see what I missed. We did it. Miss Adler and me. We got attacked by Dutch. Went behind his back, and sure, he never likes that, but I suppose the years of blind loyalty is at an end. Loyal, yes, but not blind. Not until he opens his eyes to the hell we are in. His family really are. Mike and I no longer trust whatsoever. Nor do I trust half of them, nor myself. The whole thing is a mess, and I cannot think clearly. Okay, so Arthur doesn't trust Micah either. That's good to know. Met a one-legged man, war veteran, interesting fella. Said to come by his cabin on the other side of O'Crea's Run. Maybe I will. Took medicine to that creepy pair. Say they poisoned themselves something proper. They survived, but I doubt they'll make it for much longer. Like a pair of circus clowns. That was black and white. Found a lot of... So this is what I was playing off stream, chat. This is what I was playing off stream. You can tell I just did a lot of hunting. Found a lot of dogs, a lot of animals. Went to see the fella Hamish Sinclair. He's quite a sportsman and an outdoorsman. Went fishing for pike. Got him in the end. Wants me to take me hunting. Hamish, not the pike. For some insane reason, I went out gathering debts for Strauss. The whole business revolted me. Bunch of sad, desperate bastards and me, their worst nightmare. I'd had enough of the whole business, so I ran Strauss out of camp. Whole business of loaning revolted me. Turns out it's going to kill me too. So, I guess that's about right. Probably did Strauss a favor running him out of camp, but either way, I could not bear to see his beady little eyes no more. Sight of that poor soldier and his squaw wife will be with me when I die. Oh, we did that. That was off stream too, chat. Just a stranger encounter. No, that wasn't. I did that on stream. Never mind. That was Strauss. Found a fella caught in a bear trap a while back. Decided on a whim to save him. Then bumped into him in town. Guy gave me some store credit as a thanks. Guess sometimes it pays to help folks out. Again, doing Mayor Lameau's dirty work. I think that's how I spelled it. His first name is Henri. He spells it Henry. I guess my French isn't nearly as bad as my English. Now I was threatening into threatening a newspaperman into donating to the noble cause of truth and learning. Had to make this guy support a library he didn't want to. Then he did. Old blackmailing the Mo has himself threatened by his own assistant, a chap I never liked too much, by the name of John Mark, I think. So I go hunting for John Mark, only John Mark is a noble believer in truth and honesty, and I cannot stand his boss's lies. I'm charged with killing him. Cannot do it. John Mark is irritating, but the mayor is worse. The mayor is all that is bad, and those who would rule over us. It ain't my business at all, so I let them live, and I let deal with it themselves. Guess I'm through with politics. Went back to that place, Butcher's Creek. Locals thought they were being attacked by demons, but I think they were just sick dogs. Seems like Obadiah the Elder is also possessed by this snake oil shaman fella that turned up. He wants me to destroy some cursed charms in the woods around there. We'll see quite what the shaman's game is, but there's some nonsense afoot. Destroyed them charms, went back to the village. Now the shaman announces things are worse because I destroyed the charms. Remarkably convenient. I was about to give him a beating when he ran off. The elder said the shaman was interested in the mine shaft. Perhaps that's worth a look. Went to the mine, looking to figure out what had been weird shaman has over that village. I don't know why exactly, just seemed important, I guess. The whole place was filthy. It's something nasty was leaking in the water and the soil. I'm no expert. That stuff might explain why all the folks at Butcher Creek are so odd. Anyway, I made my way back to the village, armed with knowledge and a little of evil-looking water. Lo and behold, I find the shaman trying to force that duped elder into signing away his and the village property rights, or rights to get a mining company to leave. It was not quite clear which. The sham shaman starts attacking me, so I force him to drink some, and he runs off. He admits all promptly, loses his mind, and I'm waiting around to be treated like the hero I am, or not. The villagers blame the curse. At this point, I left in their dreams of specters. Saw the Downs kid being beat up, so I helped him. Maybe I shouldn't have killed his poor father if I cared so goddamn much. What a conflicted fool I've become, or I've always been. Then tried to rescue his mother. Then I tried to rescue his mother, who was in the process of getting herself murdered. Maybe she wanted that, I don't know. She looked like me, or she looked at me like I am what I am, a killer seeking out salvation. Only I'm not. I don't want saving. I don't deserve it. I just want to help a few folk. And I sure as... I owe her. I felt like a fraud and a fool, but at least I did something. Hamish and I got to chatting. We went hunting for the wolf he'd been after, only we suddenly realized the bastard was hunting us, not the reverse. Eventually, I got the pack leader. They let us be. A real lucky escape. Nice pelt, though. It was an okay pelt. It wasn't that nice. Rescued a woman from a pair of terrifying freaks. They killed her husband. Gave her a lift home. Dutch, in his infinite wisdom, decided to shoot Leviticus Cornwall. Now, I'm not saying Cornwall did not need shooting, but I don't think it was quite our place to act as his judge and executioner. Micah and Dutch seem to be planning something. Seems like they both want most of all. It's all of us dead. It ain't John Mark, it's Jean Mark, you fool. And he is now the mayor. I guess that's good. Lameau's done for. Hold on a second. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So that was the last thing in the... It's the last entry. Okay, we read the entire journal. Okay. Let's do this Hamish, and then we'll probably call it a day. The good news is I'm just hunting, so it's highly unlikely that I fail, Kay. It's highly unlikely that I fail.
Yep.
This is just a simple side quest with a man that I like to hang out with. Let me get my rifle here. Hey there, Buell. How you doing?
That's it, boy.
Hamish, it's raining out. Would you let me in, please?
Hamish.
Arthur, come on in.
So, how you keeping out here?
Keeping fine, thank you.
So it's all right then, is it? Living out here, away from civilization?
Civilization. Yeah, I saw what civilization and industrial advancement will get you in the war. Progress, well, it ain't always progress. Besides, I ain't lonely up here. I got company.
Well, I ain't company.
Come look at these. Remember catching that?
I do.
There's that
I
pipe.
know you ain't forgot about him.
There's that
I
wolf.
still see him in my dreams.
Yeah, I got the whole of nature up here. And I'm gonna make the most of it, as long as there still is some. Whoa. They weren't lying.
What's that?
Right there by the outhouse. Look at the size of
Oh
that
man, that's a
boar.
big old pig.
Holy hell.
I saw some cattle gored the other day.
That
but
is
I
a
didn't
big
think it was
pig.
Possible. Let's go take care of it.
Okay.
Damn, I thought I got him. Pursue. I'll
Pursue.
grab the mounts.
Stop there. Gotta hide like cast iron.
That thing's still alive? How'd that thing live, bro? That is quite the hog, let me tell you.
Where are you?
I got the horses. Come on.
Well, it's about time, Hamish.
I'm afraid I lost sight of him.
Don't worry. Tracks go this way. Come on.
I like how the game won't let me just kill him.
You see that thing? It's as big as a buffalo.
And fast, too.
Yeah, but we'll get him. He came through here, all right. Big shit. He's been across here twice.
What'll we do?
Well, he's been up this hill to the right and down this one in front of us. Can't tell which tracks is fresher. Let's split up. You go up, and I'll go onwards.
All right.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Hiya! Come on, you.
I hate being on mountains. This is how you fall down and die, dude.
What's that?
Watch out, that pig's gonna come up behind me. Feel it.
Born wolves, too.
Hamish!
Damn it. Yep. Come on, Hamish. Slow it up. Shit, he's after him.
I'm not gonna get over here. Come on, horse. Horse, why did you just take a change to the right? What is wrong with you? Y'all saw him just curve inward toward that rock, right?
Yep.
My horse wanted to die, Kay. Y'all see that pig anywhere? I see Buell.
Hamish.
Oh, dude, if that pig kills Hamish, that is a bad hog.
Hamish.
I got thrown and a bastard hog got me.
Bad hog. It's a bad hog.
Yeah, take a Buell for me, would you? He's a good horse. He may be stubborn, But he's strong.
Oh, Hamish! God! If I never would have did this quest, he would have lived forever.
Come here, you pig. You pig? You got him, old man.
Oh, poor Hamish. Yeah, that is a big hog right there. Buell? Man, that sucks. That sucks, bro.
Easy there.
All right, well, let's go put Buell in the stable.
Come on, Bill.
Where is the nearest stable at? Here?
Let's go. Yeah.
Man. That sucks, bro. We're gonna miss Hamish. We're gonna go put Buell in our stable. At least the memory of Hamish can live on through his horse.
Yeah.
At least I assume we'll be able to stable this.
Yeah.
Not stopping for that. That looks like trouble. I know Kay is at home, sweating bullets. zswiggs just in the stream for the love of God. I know that's what she's saying. I think we're close to the stable. How far away are we? Never mind, we still got a ways to go. I'm gonna go back into auto run mode. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run on this road manually until I'm out of stamina. Oh, I missed my turn? What a dingus. Okay, out of stamina. Alright. And I'm gonna go to... I don't know what I just did. I don't know what I'm doing. Try to do this, thank you.
Whoa, boy, easy.
Alright, gave him a stimulant. Now we can run all the way to the stable. And we'll auto run so there's no trouble. You only watch for Overwatch. Yeah, I know. We'll play some of that this week. Yay. Let me tell you how excited I am about that. Actually, I played Overwatch last night with Chris off stream, and you know, I had a lot of fun, so. I'm being overly snarky, but I do like Overwatch.
Dang, good-looking horse there.
Yeah,
If
Buell.
you want me to keep that overnight, there's room in the stable.
All right. No Overwatch, only Red Dead.
Well, I can't give you full price on account of that might be stolen. I'll find it. Hell, on a Friday night, I lose half of everything I own.
Dude, Buell has like super good stats, man. Spots is pretty good too. Glue has terrible stats. Glue is the worst. Mudblood's okay. Buell is the best. But I'm going to go with Spots here. Let's give him
More
gold
folks took
cores.
care of their horses like you.
Grooming. Like, what could I possibly add here?
I got one of them myself.
Like what? There's new colors? Like, I don't care. I don't think there's anything really new here. Horse provisions. Might as well buy some hay while I'm here. Buy some more horse stimulants. Get my horse revives while I'm here too. That way my horse don't die. Save all those fails. Okay, so we have the Micah main quest to do. Oh, we have a new widow quest. Fantastic. Okay. Good. I want to do some more of that. And then we also have, so we'll do the widow quest, and then we'll do rainfall. We'll probably do this one. I feel like the Micah is like the main quest, so I kind of want to do it last. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video entertaining. There's a new one posted every day, so be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, say hello. I would love to meet you, or better yet, stop by twitch.tv/zswiggs, where I am live every weekday playing fun games with this great, positive community. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.